So these are some of the websites that I was able to create inside of Go High Level, and a lot of people reached out to me asking me how I was able to create specific sections in those websites and how do I make my websites look clean, aesthetic, and luxurious while the Go High Level templates just look cheap and they're just not it. And so in this video, I'm going to show you how I created those websites inside of Go High Level. So the first section I'm going to show you how I created is this section right here, which is the hero section as well as the header. The first thing we're going to do is go and I'm going to create a full section element. So full section, full width. We're going to do 2 columns side by side. So on this side, I'm going to have the navigation menu. So I'm going to add it. And then on this side, I'm just going to have a button. Let's just do a standard one for now. And I'm going to drag it, drop. I'm going to slide this sideways. So let's go here. Let's add our logo. So I have my logo ready to go. Now the next thing I want to do is change this. These are too close to each other, so it looks like it's cramped. So what I'm going to do is change the horizontal spacing so that it's just a bit more spread out. And another thing I'm going to do is this button right here. I'm going to change it. It's going to be border. It's going to be full border. I'm going to do 20x for radius, so it's going to make it a little bit round. This button here, we're going to do like book now. The next thing I want to do is change the background. So for us, I want to do a background color. It's going to be black. You'll see like this makes no sense, but that's just because the background color has to be set to transparent. Now my logo looks crazy right now, but that's just because we have this constraint here when it comes to height. So I'm just gonna get rid of the height, and for width we're gonna do slightly bigger, maybe 150 pixels. Now we can't see the text anymore, but that's just because we have to change it here. So we're gonna make it white. And the final thing in the header that we're missing is just the animation of the button. So I wanted to raise as we hover, so we're gonna go to animation, scroll the way down, hover animation, and it's just gonna be elevate. So now you guys can see it elevates when we hover over it. So I'm gonna add a full row, and I'm gonna add 1 column because we're gonna have everything in the center aligned. I'm gonna do a headline. I'm gonna make this, let's say 60, and I'm gonna duplicate this because this middle section is gonna be a different color. And so I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna duplicate this 1 more time. I'm gonna slide it underneath. The next thing we're gonna do is add a sub headline. So this is like, you know, if you wanted to have like a quick tagline, I'm just gonna copy paste this very quickly. Now, one thing that I do want to add is a bit of spacing, so it gives hierarchy to the text. Right now, I feel like everything is too cramped. So I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to scroll down, add some padding, let's say 20. And the last thing is going to be like duplicating this button, and you can just slide it down. Same thing again, like I feel like this is too close to each other, so we can just add some padding, 20, and it looks pretty good. And so that's how we created that section. So the next section I'm going to show you how to create is this one right here, which is a services section. So you have a graphic and then services on this side. Or if you're a service-based business, so let's say you do like a course that you sell online, or like a one-on-one coaching, you sell some sort of agency product, lead gen agencies, that kind of stuff. I'm gonna show you how to create this section right here. So the first thing we're gonna do is add a full section, full width. The next thing is gonna be having 2 sections side by side. So 2 columns side by side. The reason why is because one side is going to have the photo or the graphic, and the other side is going to have the text as we have it right here. So on this side, we're just going to have a image. And then on this side, we're going to start adding the headline, sub-headline, all that stuff. I'm going to text align this to the left-hand side by clicking here. Something that some people do is add like a small mini sub-headline on top of the main heading. So we can just do this by adding a sub-headline. The next thing I'm going to do is make the font way smaller. So let's just say 16. And then I'm going to do it on top of this one, and then this one is gonna say, you know, like a brief description of the service itself, and we're gonna add it again, text align to the left hand side. We want it to be consistent. The next thing I'm gonna do is add some padding. I feel like these 2 elements are too close to each other, so I'm gonna add some padding. Let's just call it 20. Now this line right here, like some people wondering like how do you do this inside of Go High Level? So you're gonna go here, and it's just a divider. So that's just a quick trick you can start implementing into your websites. You add this divider, and then it's gonna be, let's say 50%. Don't want it to be all the way, we just want it to be 50%, and then we're gonna align it to the left hand side. We have these 2, and then the last one is gonna be duplicating this section right here and adding it down below. And this is just gonna be the main description of all your stuff. And the final thing is gonna be adding a graphic or a photo of the actual service or product that you're selling. I already have it here, and it's gonna be this one right here. So it does look pretty small, and I think that's because of the height. So we're just gonna remove that, and let's say the width is gonna be 400. There we go. So I think that looks pretty good. One trick, if you have multiple services back to back, stack. So like this one right here, we have online courses, then we have one-on-one coaching. Something I like to do is just duplicating the section and then go to the purple section and you can just change the order, and then you can just change the content, and then you can change the photo here, and that's how you quickly create new sections with stuff that you've already built before. Now for the SaaS website, this looks really good. The reality is we built it the exact same way. All that is changing is just the background is different, it's black, and then the graphic here we created within Photoshop. I can actually show you some of our graphics that we've built, so you can see like these are all different layers that we have, and this all creates like a really cool graphic. So I think a big thing when it comes to creating really good websites is having solid graphic design skills, and so you can create cool graphics like this one, or you can do something like this where you're selling another type of product but you can showcase it in a way that is really appealing. At this last section I'm going to show you how we created was for a restaurant website. It's like a salad bar, but I'm going to show you exactly how we created this section right here. So some people think it's really cool, looks super clean, super aesthetic. When I hover, you'll notice that it kind of zooms in a little bit and it looks super clean. So I'm going to show you exactly how we did this section in GHL. The first thing I'm going to do is add a full section, full width again, and this time we're gonna have 4 columns. The reason why is there's 4 photos, so we need 4 columns. So the first thing we're gonna do is get our photos, which I've already got, but we need to do something in Photoshop before we upload them to GHL. So once we have our photo in Photoshop, there's only one simple thing that you have to do that's super quick, and it's just removing the background. We don't want the background to show up. So I'm gonna go here to eraser. So in eraser, I'm gonna do the magic eraser tool, which is just gonna erase the background. So if we take a closer look, I always like to double check that it got deleted properly, so there's still some stuff that we can remove, and then that looks pretty good to me. So what I'm gonna do is add photos to all of them, and so I can just like add it very quickly to show you what it would look like. So now we're just gonna duplicate it 4 times, assuming these were all different photos, and this is what it's gonna look like. So we have the 4 photos side by side. Okay, so we have the photos. The last thing is gonna be animating them. To animate the photos, it's just gonna be super simple. We're gonna add a piece of code and then we're gonna tag the photos. If you've never used code before, don't worry, it's actually not that hard. I'm gonna show you step by step. So the first thing we're gonna do is go to custom CSS, and I'm gonna paste this code right here. Now I'm gonna change this to be .image style 1, and I'm gonna copy paste this and do it again here. There we go. And I'm gonna hit save. So that added the code to the website. Now we just need to tag the photo. So when I click on this photo, I'm gonna go to advanced, and I'm gonna go to custom class, and I'm gonna do image style 1. I'm gonna tag every single photo with that class, and this should be the final step. So if we preview this website, it should look like when you hover, it zooms in. And so that's how we created that section within our salad bar website. Now with these photos, it looks a bit better, but this is just a random photo that I found online. But even then it looks pretty clean, but you can do it much better if you have better photos, of course. But that's it. That's how we created those 3 sections inside of GHL. But if you want to get an awesome website that's already pre-built, ready to go, you don't have to worry about the Photoshop, the coding, none of that stuff. Click the first link in my bio and get your GHL website.